Growing up, I was like never cut out for like that sort of like school system. If I'm not interested in something, my mind's away. I was that kid in school like doing magic tricks for the teachers and all, being like a class clown, just trying to make people laugh. Back in the day, like a lot of inspiration would have been Jackass, the Jackass crew. That changed a generation. I feel like people who are in the skateboard and Jackass and all, they're just naturally creative and they love to pick up a camera. So if I didn't ever watch Jackass, I don't know if I would be doing what I did today. Like,
yeah, those guys.
Margera, Steve-O, all them ones, they were like actual idols of mine. I used to dress up like them and all. We used to film our own like Jackass stunts out and jumping into like bushes. And again, I was just doing it for fun, but I didn't know I was kind of subconsciously honing my craft. Getting angles and like taking in the Windows Movie Maker back in the day and like piecing it together and like adding the music and cutting to the beat.
Yeah, well, glad that you found time for me, and yeah.
Thanks, bro.
I was watching UFC videos and I never thought I'm gonna meet someone who edits them, and especially the most viral one that's like 10, 50. Yeah. So you told me before you have a very like a special condition that you were born with, and can you like tell me like what more specifically what was the
Sure. Yeah. When I was born, and then like really quickly like the doctors like came to understand there was something not right. Like I was born like really blue, and then I was rushed up to a local sick kids hospital, Royal Victoria Hospital in Belfast, close to my hometown. And they discovered I had a really rare heart condition called Truncus Arteriosus. Basically, like in like dumbed down terms, it's like you've got like the left ventricle and right ventricle. One pumps oxygen around the body and one pumps blood. And then they're obviously separated, so I was just born with one, and then they mix together, which is really dangerous.
Oh yeah, your body doesn't get oxygen enough, right?
That's why the circulation was blue. So then at just 4 weeks old, like I was literally no bigger than a bag of sugar, I was like undergone like a 9-hour open heart surgery at like that size. That these miracle workers, the surgeons, were able to like fixed me, and they went in and they actually, it's pretty crazy. I got goosebumps thinking about it. When I at 4 weeks old, my first ever open heart surgery, there was a little baby girl who actually unfortunately died in a roadside accident. She was 7, and a little piece of her valve fitted in my heart and saved my life. Like,
oh wow.
I've got, again, back to the tattoos. Here I've got like the lucky, because obviously I'm very lucky to be on this earth. And then I was big into my magic growing up. It was a first love of mine before like making videos. I've got the 7 of hearts, the card, so because the girl, she was 7 on my heart. So that was like a very meaningful sort of piece. I was like almost like a tribute to her. Like the reason I'm here is because of her, and obviously the amazing surgeons. So came through that, thankfully. I was actually, believe it or not, the first person ever in the north of Ireland to survive that type of operation. Like everyone else before me didn't make it, unfortunately. So it just puts it into perspective how like lucky I am to be here, you know. After that, maybe I was 5 when I needed a second one, because obviously as a child you're growing pretty rapidly, whereas this piece of a girl's heart isn't alive. So as it expands, there's a lot of stretching and leakage. So they had to go in again, and this time they did like a pig's valve, a bigger bit, and then they just went in and replaced it, and I think it was like 7-8 hours as well. So by no means was it just going in like the dentist and getting your tooth pulled. It was a big surgery. Like, so I underplayed. This is just my mentality. I still to this day probably don't even understand how serious it is. That's just my mentality in life, and probably just the way I am, because the less I know, probably the better. I'm such a happy-go-lucky guy. If I started knowing exactly all the shit that went on in the room when what they were doing, like if I seen pictures, there's probably blood everywhere. I was like, I just try not to think about that and just keep positive. So that happened again, and then obviously I was 5. I was still a child, but obviously 4 weeks old. You've no idea you're even alive. Your brain isn't developed yet. At 5, I kind of understood what was going on. But the one thing I would say about a testament to my parents and my family, like they never really treated me any different to my other brothers. Like as I said, I lived out in the countryside in Ireland. There's lots of fields, and we'd be up to no good, like jumping and doing flips and all. They would never be like, "No, don't do that. You're like mollycoddle. You know, you're special. You're a little bit different, kid. That never happened. I just was just treated like one of the normal ones. So I feel like that's
Nice.
why I am who I am today.
So it doesn't limit you in any way, like.
I mean, there's certain things like when I go to the gym, I'm not supposed to like lift super heavy weights because you don't want to put too much stress on the heart.
Oh yeah.
And then in terms of like stamina, like I say I could never run a marathon, but if I really put my mind to it, David Goggins sort of shit, I probably could. But like my stamina like is not even close to like a normal person. Is that down to maybe my lack of fitness? But it's definitely, there's something there. Like it's just the heart doesn't pump. It's not the same sort of blood flow. So, but to answer your question, like in normal everyday life, I just feel completely normal. Like I got so lucky. It's crazy because then when I was at home growing up, I would obviously go in for like annual or biannual checkups in the heart cardiac clinic. And my God, man, some of the children you would see just waiting in the waiting room, like Down syndrome, like in wheelchairs and all, like really, really. I say I get dealt a shit hand in life. They got dealt a really shitty hand. Like they can't live life normally, you know. So again, it's just being grateful, like that I'm still here and like seeing, you know, how worse off they got it compared to me. And then thankfully that did me for a good while. The doctors kind of estimated I would probably need another one or like 16, 17. And that wasn't the case. I kept going for checkups. They're like, it's all about timing with this. They don't want to go in too early and then risk opening me up again, because every time you open up scar tissues, it gets more and more complicated and dangerous. So they were just kind of like always closely monitoring me. And then, as I said, I went traveling in my early 20s and all. Like I went to some checkups in hospitals over there, and things were fine. And then I ended up needing one at 31 or 32. So I was like 4.5 years ago now. So that's a part of the reason as well why I came to Canada, because it's kind of part of the Commonwealth. So you've got like the health card system, the OHIP, whereas in America or something, you know, figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have that luxury. So that was a huge part of the decision why we actually came to Canada as well, for my health. I need to be able to have coverage, because I wouldn't even want to know the amount of money
right
for
now.
that surgery. It'd be millions and millions of dollars. Like, so yeah, I had a third one there in 2021. It was obviously, now I'm a fully grown adult, so I was conscious of everything. It was not for the faint heart. It was pretty traumatic experience, if I'm honest. But again, I have a very strong mind, almost like I'd say like a warrior's mindset. I'm just, it sounds like cocky, but I just feel like I'm different to most people. Like people dealing with stress and like pressure, I handle it with like an absolute warrior, if I do say so myself. Like some of the shit I went through, like the surgery was supposed to last like 7-8 hours. There was complications throughout the surgery. Obviously my parents were getting updates out in the waiting room. It ended up going like 13-14 hours. Like the mechanics or the electrics of the heart just kept messing up. They just couldn't figure it out, and then finally they got it fixed, and they obviously sewed me up and all, and like I was like the next couple of weeks in ICU. They were closely monitoring me, and then I finally got out. This is obviously, I'm shortening the story for the podcast purposes, but like I left the hospital, and then I was out with my parents at a restaurant, and then I literally, I gotta say, they put like a Holter monitor on me for like 2 weeks afterwards, just to closely, it was linked into the hospital, so someone was keeping an eye on like making sure everything was right. So I was out, and then I just like, you know that feeling sometimes where you're in like a very crowded room and it's hot, you feel like, whoa, like I'm gonna faint. And I was like, whoa, I don't feel well. I went to get up to go to the bathroom just to splash some water on my face. Literally collapsed on the floor.
Oh shit.
Turns out they checked the Holter monitor. I had a cardiac arrest. Like I died for 6 seconds. Like my mum caught me on the way down and saved me from hitting my head on the ground. So I've died for like 6 seconds on the floor, which is absolutely insane to say. And then, God willing, or I don't know what happened, I just kind of woke up and it was like something like a movie. You'd see, you know, like of the little like dark around the edges, and it's like the blurriness is coming in, and all these people are looking over you and screaming, and like there's this echoey. It's like something out of a movie. That's really what it felt like. Probably like a UFC when you get knocked the hell out.
Oh my God.
And you come up and you're like, where am I for the first like 10 seconds? You're like trying to figure out, am I sleeping? Is this a dream? What the hell's going on? And I woke up and like obviously I was like flushed, like pure grey in the face, like, and you could hear people screaming, call an ambulance, like proper. Like I'm like, what the hell's happening? And then I get up, and then the bartender came over with a big glass of water, and it was kind of the colour started coming back to my face as I was waiting an ambulance to come. Like 30 minutes passed, no ambulance. We're like, what the hell? It's still not here. By this stage, it was kind of came around again. I was like, I didn't obviously know how serious it was until they checked the monitor. I just thought I fainted. And then there was no ambulance. And then the manager of the bar was nice enough. We hopped in his car and he rushed me over into the emergency room at the hospital where I got my surgery.
That's very nice of him.
Yeah, of course. And then it was the electrics of the heart. It kind of malfunctioned again. They couldn't get it right, and I was having these weird like episodes where my heart would just cut out. It's like, you know, a car, you're trying to start the battery again.
Cannot start, yeah.
So and then I had to go back into ICU for like another month or so, and I was permanently attached to like a defibrillator just in case it was to happen again. They've got the thing to bring me back again.
Shocker.
Yeah. And then another funny story. Well, it wasn't that funny at the time, but now thinking back. So they were running tests just in the ICU on the defibrillator. She was like hitting all these buttons. Not me being mean, I'm a bit of a jokester, a prankster. I'm like, what would happen, you know, if you hit the wrong button here? Would it just go off? And she's like, no, there's a certain like code you have to put in for it, or like 2 or 3 buttons at the same time you had to push for it to go off. There's no way that would happen. She's working away, but 5 seconds later, boom, the thing goes off. And I never felt anything like it in my life. It's like someone just punched me right in the chest. I just lying in bed, like it's probably on my phone or something, and all of a sudden just boom. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I think she was like a pretty trainee nurse or something. Like she fucked up. So I don't even know if she's still in the job. So that was bloody scary. And then I had to, they did all these tests and all, and they figured out I need a pacemaker in here now. So I'm like pretty much half man, half robot. So I've got like a little pacemaker in here as well. I go in for checkups now every 3-4 months, as it is. And they set like almost like a computer mouse, an old school computer mouse with like a rubber glove over it just for hygiene purposes. And they set it down on your chest, and they can go in and like, oh, you might feel your heart go a bit faster or slower. They can literally like tap into my fucking and like change the speed of my heart and all. It's crazy. It's almost like getting a iOS update on your bloody phone.
That sounds crazy.
So it's so cool, so crazy but cool at the same time. Like the technology, how they use it to their benefits. So I'm jumping all over the place here. That was the third surgery. So obviously all that crazy stuff that happened. They wanted to go in again. So I was like, I thought this third one was going to be it for at least like 15, 20 years. They're like, yeah, just unfortunately, you know, the electrics of the heart wasn't right. And then there was a bit of a kink in the valve as well, which has happened. It wasn't by any fault of the surgeon. It was just naturally just bad luck. So like, yeah, we're gonna have to go in again. I'm like, here we go again. Like, so 4th time went in. That was just over a year ago now, which is crazy to think. Like now I'm back to full health again. Not even like a year and a half later. This time the recovery, I've been through it as an adult, so I knew exactly what mentally how to get through it. So it was a lot of a smoother process, we'll call it. Like in the surgery went really well as soon as it was done. Obviously I was still under anaesthetic. The surgeon came out, shook my parents' hands. It was like, yeah, that was a good one. It was a success. So now, touch wood, I'll not need like another one. Hopefully for like another 15, 20 years. And then who knows with modern technology nowadays. They said they might even be able to go in through my groin now. They might not have to open me up again, which is
nice. That would be
a blessing, so that'll be cool.
So literally you experienced the same challenge twice, like at an unconscious age and like just literally a few years ago. Or was it like
2021 and then 2024?
That's crazy. Yeah. So like after all these challenges, like what values do you prioritize in your life, and especially in the modern world right now?
Yeah, well, obviously the fact that I'm still here, I'm still breathing on the right side of the soil is obviously a blessing. And then again, just growing up and like not having that great start to life, I've always seen it a bit differently. I've always had that extra bit of gratitude and like positivity for being here and having my brothers and mum and dad, by my side the whole way. So that's something that I'll hold close to my heart always. What was the question again? Sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked.
Like your values, like what do you prioritize lately? Like how you...
Yeah, family first. It's again like a very culturally Irish thing. Maybe it is in your culture too, but I'm from Ireland, so that's kind of all I know. We're very, very close knit, and then like I'm very close to my parents and brothers. So if I ever had any problems or anything, like you just chat with them. Yeah,
that's beautiful.
They're almost like friends, not parents in a way, which is cool. Yeah, it's cool. So yeah, I'd definitely say number one would be family. It would keep me grounded and keep me, not doing any dumb shit like I used to do when I was younger. And then just realizing, sometimes you wake up and you're like, oh, you're in a bit of a bad mood or whatever, you always just got to remember, I shouldn't be here, but I am, so I'm here on this earth for a reason, so, be grateful.
Is there anything like special you believe in this world? Could be anything.
I just really, really preach like just being a good person. Like the whole like karma, it'll always come around and bite you in the ass again. So I always I've been like a people pleaser almost to a fault, because I would be so selfless. My parents and family would say the same thing. Like if there's something one thing left, like instead of me taking it out, you can have it, it's okay. Or again, Irish traditions, you come over to my house, you can stay as long as you want. So just be a good person. It'll always come back and do you positive, and try not to provide value without expecting anything back. Because again, it'll always do you right in the future. I feel like that's where a lot of my traits of my personality, being this bubbly, happy-go-lucky guy, even though I've had a bit of a shit life at the start, being able to see it that way and just be nice to people. That's how I feel like I connect with people really quickly and easily. People, they've said to me before when we were having conversations, where I only met them a day ago, I feel like I've known you for ages. I feel like I can tell you my deepest secrets. I'm like, well, tell me then. But no, I just have a big people person. I've got for a shitty heart, I've got a big heart. So yeah, just be a good person, I guess.
Yeah, you're a very positive person in general. Yeah, that's what I've noticed. Even, experiencing what you experience, and you always can joke about it. And this is why people like you, probably because you're very sincere and just simple and positive in general. Yeah, and yeah, that's funny. I know you for only one day before this meeting, and it was literally just a spontaneous random meeting. I wasn't expecting to go anywhere, but just our mutual friend just brought us together, and yeah, I'm just happy this podcast happened.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's right now I would say for a lot of people your life looks very interesting, and for maybe some of the people it could be even a dream, dream life, to do what you do. Do you know what's your not the next chapter, but what's your let's say a bigger mission, what you where are you heading to, from where are you now?
Well, I know I'll still be in this social media world making content with UFC right now. I love it. It is a dream job unlocked. I've been a fight fan my whole life, even before UFC days. Obviously growing up in Ireland, we're good for drinking and fighting. So you had to be able to handle yourself growing up. So I did a bit of boxing growing up, just with my dad training, and never competed in anything. Obviously, wouldn't be able to with my health. But I just always had a love for being able to look after yourself, and it feels like it's came full circle. My love for traveling, content, media, and combat sports. Now I've landed that dream job where it's a combination of all three. Who knows? In the next week I'm going to Vancouver, and then I'm back home for a couple of weeks, and then I'm heading off to the Middle East, out to Qatar. What? There's not that many people for a job could say that. You're going out literally shooting your dream, MMA stuff in a country that I know nothing about, and then you just go out there and you meet new people.
That's the best, like when you feel that the whole world is like your home, not just one country, but like you can literally just go wherever, and there is always
back in our
people.
parents' days, like people didn't travel as readily.
Yeah.
Now it feels like the world's so small.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's almost like hopping on a bus, just hop on a plane and go to Australia. My dad or mum, they couldn't do that growing up.
Imagine if you was not like into martial arts. Like, do you imagine yourself like in a different way?
I always remember, like, growing up, I was like never cut out for like that sort of like school system. Like I just didn't have it. I've never been diagnosed, but I for sure have like some sort of like ADD or ADHD or whatever. Like, 'cause my attention, like at school, if I'm not interested in something, my mind's away. Even in a conversation, like people like the small chat. I fucking hate small chat. The same questions. I like having a good connection with somebody, and I feel like if I'm not like genuinely interested in the conversation, I'll be thinking of something else. Oh, I have this edit to do, or this something. I'm not there. So school was definitely not for me. I was that kid in school like doing magic tricks for the teachers and all, being like a class clown, just trying to make people laugh. And then it was only whenever I left school and like I found this new course that opened up for media studies and performing arts, whereas like it's cliche, but you found your passion. Again, my dad was a wedding photographer growing up, but I never knew like, it could be like a full-time job. Like
never like believed in that.
Yeah, like I could actually do this for like.
Yeah. Who knew that it's gonna
like,
be a whole industry? Like.
And then like growing up around I drive into, or get my parents to drive me into the town. I'd be big into skateboarding and parkour, as you just said. I'd always see my dad would have like a little like VHS camcorder. I would just take it from his into the town and just make little skate movies and parkour edits and all. But like again, I was just doing it for fun, but I didn't know I was kind of subconsciously honing my craft, getting angles and like taking it into Windows Movie Maker back in the day and like piecing it together and like adding the music and cutting to the beat, and just like I was actually talking with a friend there the other day. As I said earlier, like I feel like magic was like one of my first true loves. Like I just was mesmerized by it, watching like David Blaine and Chris Angel and all on the TV,
like
on the
magic tricks
on the
and
TV.
Stuff, yeah.
There's a lot of similarities. I think between like editing and magic.
Yeah, definitely.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree.
In terms of like disguising the cuts and like having like misdirection. You should be looking over here, and all of a sudden it's over there.
Yep.
So I'm glad you.
So
agree,
you literally
agree with
control the attention of people, and you just play around with whatever and how you want, and yeah.
And it's almost like magic is the art of storytelling and
creating
performance.
a story. Yeah,
creative.
Exactly.
You're taking them on this like roller coaster of a journey. Same thing with like editing. You can control people's emotions. You can make them feel sad at a part and bring up their mood and make them feel happy and energetic, and like it's. I was just talking, as I said, with a friend the other day about it, and I was like, "Holy shit, that makes so much sense."
That's true. Yeah.
Like growing up, I was never that much into video games. I used to play a little bit of like GTA or like Tony Hawk's or something, but like I felt like my video game was video editing. So that I just felt like a little video game. It's almost like I've said it before. It's almost like Tetris, where the little things are coming across, and you're piecing it to try and make the timeline like fit.
We were like nerds, but in a different way, we'll say.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
And then like back in the day, like a lot of inspiration would have been. You remember Jackass, the Jackass crew? That changed a generation. For like, I feel like people who are in the skateboard and Jackass and all, they're just naturally creative, and they love to pick up a camera. So if I didn't ever watch Jackass, I don't know if I would be doing what I did today. Like,
yeah, those guys.
Margera, Steve-O, all them ones, they were like actual idols of mine. I used to dress up like them and all. We used to film our own like Jackass stunts out and jumping into like bushes and.
That's crazy how big of a culture like of the Jackass is, because like I was like literally on the other side of the planet, and somehow it still was a thing. Not as big as in America, because it's like literally a Western culture, but yeah, definitely that inspired us and like millions of people to do like crazy stuff, just because like it's inner feeling of I gotta do this. Like I don't care if I'm gonna feel bad or like injure myself or like whatever. I'm gonna do this. And right now this like mental trick still works in every step in your life, right? Like when you try to do this project or like just offer or like us like doing.
Or you're
podcasts
scared to
right
go
now.
talk to that girl.
Yeah, right.
It's almost like countdown 3, 2, 1. Just go.
And I'm pretty sure like all the people, like mostly sorry, not all the people, most of the people, they're introverts, and this like mental trick would just help them to, you know, like go out and put themselves
Overcome
out.
it.
Yeah. So yeah, this is just what I felt like, and like it's literally we have not only similar view, like point of view on the like, you know, media, but like we literally started from like the same parkour, like, you know,
Crazy.
filming each other. Yeah, yeah, I'm just glad, you know, we're here right now.
Yes, brother.
Yeah, and yeah, it's cool. You know, right now it's gonna be like a little bit deeper question, but again, it's only your perspective. And like, if there was one advice for people to make their life happier, what advice would it be?
Perspective, and like again, gratitude. Like before UFC and all, like it's not like I just went from like making dumb movies to now working for UFC. There's obviously a pretty long process of dot connecting, and one of them dots was actually working for a huge big entrepreneur in New York, Gary Vaynerchuk, or GaryVee as he goes. We had this conversation off air.
Yeah.
He was a huge influence in my life. Like when I was traveling, I used to always have him in my ear, like just watching him and like his keynotes and just the message. I felt like I just really resonated with him because he wasn't this like business suit guy who dressed up fancy and like talked very like proper. He'd be cursing and swearing all the time, and that's just maybe an Irish thing as well. We like to fuck this, fuck. Like he spoke to me and like he wasn't afraid to just be himself. He'd be at big meetings, just wearing like this, normal clothes, like with his hat and all for it. I was like, this dude is just cool. And my mum will even tell you as well. When I'd fall asleep just listening to his podcasts just in my ear, and then fast forward then maybe 3 or 4 years, I think it was like just around COVID actually when I got the job. I actually full circle I started working for GaryVee, which is insane to say. That was kind of like the start of this whole like journey of working for like big online influencers and like entrepreneurs. So editing his content all day, having your headphones on when he's talking about positivity and like gratitude and all. How can you not be grateful? And like you're editing it, but subconsciously you're downloading all this information he's telling you, and that's why kind of I have a lot of him to thank for who I am today. Obviously, I've been through a lot, so that's why I'm grateful. But his added touch as well, like just always, you know, go for it and chase those dreams and really make something of your life and be proud of what you do. That's something I would say to people. You know, if you're not happy with something, man, figure it out and change it. If you're not happy in a job, I get it. Now things are expensive and all. Like, and people with families and all, it's not just as easy just to tell them, oh, just quit your job and go chase your dreams.
Maybe it is easy, like as you say.
It's GaryVee always talks about as well. Like, you know, it's them hours after your work from 7 to 12 before you go to bed. What are you doing now? You're just mind dumb, just watching Netflix.
But you know, quitting like quitting without actual point of view, like what to do after, is just, you know, useless. Like why would you quit if you have nothing to replace your job with, right? So yeah, but it's funny. Like it's, you know, the sickest part is that when you were telling this, I was literally like, shit, this is how my life changed as well. That's crazy, yeah. Gary, yeah. I started to watch his video like back in the days, a long time ago, when he was on like how you call this, in his prime, like when he was like literally everywhere.
Yeah. You couldn't scroll on an app without seeing him.
Yeah, there was like a lot of different guys that also were talking about life, you know, in like perspective of like possibilities and everything. But he was exactly like you described, like a guy like from people, not from somewhere, you know, from top or whatever. He was like literally the same guy as us, but you know, just a little bit more hustler.
Yeah, I mean, he came from really humble beginnings, obviously.
Yeah,
coming from where you
were
were
from.
from.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
crazy. I was actually surprised when I got to know his Belarusian. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'll never forget as well. I felt like I sort of hit the ceiling in that job. I could only go as far as I could get to in that job editing for him, and then that's when I moved on to. I was working for Andrew Schultz, a big New York comedian who's doing amazing things right now. His podcast Flagrant. So I was kind of like, we left on really good terms with me and Team GaryVee, and then whenever a worker who's on the team it was leaving to something, he always likes to do like a one-on-one meeting, just to be like, thank you very much for your work, working for me. If you ever need help in the future, shoot me a message or an email. I'll be here. to give you a good reference or whatever. And then they normally do it on Zoom, obviously, because I'm in Toronto and he's in New York. This is me being like, obviously being a bit different and being a bit clever and like thinking outside the box. For instance, say the meeting was scheduled to be a Zoom call on like, say, October 7th. And I had replied, oh, no way, I'm actually in New York that weekend. I wasn't. I booked flights to go down just to meet him in person because face-to-face interaction, nothing beats it.
Yeah.
It's cold online. So I was like, okay. So I went down to New York and then was in his office. There's pictures on my Instagram. We had a good conversation. He thanked me for my work. Anything you need, just get me a message and I'll help you out. So
that's awesome.
Good to say you've got GaryVee in your contact book, to back you up for if you ever needed any sort of good references. So that was a moment I'll never forget. Like meeting this idol. I hate using the word idol because I don't really idolize anybody, but like I respect people a lot.
Respect mostly, yeah.
Yeah, idolizing I think is, I don't know. It doesn't really sit well with me. Like, at the end of the day, no matter how big or how much money someone has, they're no better than you and I. They're just if you're a good person, like I talked about earlier, that's what I respect more. Not the amount of millions in your bank account. Like you could be a millionaire and be an absolute asshole. Why would I want to be connected to you? But such a nice person he was.
Well, basically, yeah, it's cool to hear that we're almost having like the same path, like in terms of step by step and developing and similarities that inspired us. Yeah, and there is one more question, but I'll do another angle for this one.
Sweet.
Like, I was actually curious, like, how did you get that job in the UFC?
When you sit down, this could take 4 hours. But pretty crazy dude. That's the piece of my heart.
Oh wow.
That's 37 years old. That was a little piece of the heart that saved my life. I wouldn't want to open it up and smell it. It probably smells like absolute. But pretty fucking crazy.
Wow.
This is me when I was 4 weeks old, and all the wires and all just struggling to stay alive. And then this is the stitches from my most recent surgery. Once they were taking the stitches out, I requested, could you keep them, because I had this cool idea for an art piece. So I always had this. This photograph was in like national newspapers all over back home in Ireland and the UK. And in the hospital, they've got like a big picture up of me, like I'm like the miracle baby, which is pretty cool.